Hello, whistleblowers everywhere. Today's tune breakdown is a lovely jig called Banish Misfortune. Banish Misfortune. You can't say that quickly. Banish Misfortune. Yeah, I haven't got my teeth in today. Right, so as usual, I will start off with a plain version of this tune, which is the same as the written music, and I will be adding just some cuts to separate the notes which are the same. Then after that, we'll be looking at putting some ornamentation in as it's written, or rather as close to the written music. Then we'll look at some variation. So here we go. As usual, I'm going to set my click to 60 and I'm going to play through just the written version, and all I'm going to do is separate the notes which are the same by using some cuts. So here we go. 1, 2, 1. So I'm going to separate the Ds with cuts, especially the middle D, such as the ones that we've got on the third line. And the Cs, now you can separate in two ways. You can either use tonguing, or what I like to do sometimes is, I suppose it's kind of a fake tap. So you've got, so what you can do is tongue it. So that's on the very last line. Or you can go. And I like to use that little tap with the D. It's technically not a tap because taps are always with the notes below, but this, we're using a tapping action, so I'm going to call it a tap. So here we go, set my click to 60. 2, 1, 2. So this is a three-part jig. We've got part A, part B and part C. And each part is repeated twice. So let's have a look at part A now, and let's see what we can do with some ornamentation other than the cuts which we've used just to separate the notes, which are the same. So going bar by bar, I'm going to start off with a tongued cut on the F sharp. So I'm tonguing and cutting. Now if you want to cut, you can cut with this finger as well. Any of these three fingers really work, but I tend to use this just because that's what I'm used to. So we're just playing down that scale and cutting the first note. So the second bar, I'm going to do a short roll on the A. So again, use the top finger to cut or the B finger to cut. Either, they both work fine. So let's put the bars 1 and 2 together. And again. So bar 3. So I can do a short roll on the F and separate the two Ds with cuts. So now if you find it awkward to go from the G and then short roll the F, so the G in the last bar, short roll the F in the first bar, you can just do a tap like this. So you can just tap the F sharp. But if you can, it sounds good as a short roll. You might have to tongue to do that short roll, whereas going down from the G to the F sharp without tonguing, it's much easier just to tap. But you can do both. So I'm tonguing, much easier to do it that way. But again, if you don't want to tongue that F sharp, you can just do it as a tap. So it's up to you how you want to do it. I like to put it as a short roll and tongue it, but if you just want to tap that F sharp, it's fine to do so. So 3 bars. Now we're just the tap on the F sharp. So not a lot of difference, but I'll leave it up to you to which one you prefer. So last bar. So I'm cutting the first of the groups of 3. So I'm cutting the F sharp, cutting the G. And then on the first bar of the second line, I'm carrying that cut pattern on. So it's going to go. So we're doing the last bar on line 1 and the first bar on line 2. Again. So the next bar on line 2, that's the second bar on line 2. Again, we're going to cut the A. And then on the third bar, we're going to cut the high F sharp. and then just play the notes out as written. So we're going to go and play the whole of the A part now, nice and slowly. Let's do that at 60. 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's have a look now at the B part. The B part, we're going to start with a short roll on the F sharp, and we may do some short rolls on some of the other crotchets or quarter notes, or we may just do a tap. We'll see how it's fixed. So starting off, this is first bar on line 3. So short roll on the F sharp, and then we're cutting the D's to separate. Now if you like, you can tongue to separate those D's, it's up to you. Both work absolutely fine. It's a preference. You don't have to tongue them. You don't have to cut them. Find which you like and do whichever works. The idea is if you're tonguing, we need to get that really smooth legato tonguing, which we've talked about in previous videos. Okay, so the next bar, we've got that short roll again on the F sharp. And we're going to cut the A. So let's do bars 1 and 2 of the third line. And again. So bar 3, again we can cut and tap. Now to separate the two C's, we can either use that kind of tapping action to play a D, technically not a tap because it's a note above, but it's not a cut either, but we are using a tapping action, so I'm going to call it a D tap. I know it's a bit cheating, but I can't think of another word for it. So I'm using that bouncing tapping action to separate the two C's. Again, you can tongue them. Or with the tapping action. And again, on the last bar on the third line, we can do a short roll on the E. Now, if you need to take a breath, then maybe just cut those notes rather than do a short roll. Again, sacrifice an ornament is fine in order to get our breath. Breath is top of the pyramid, so we have to get a breath in. We can't sacrifice a breath and come in late, as we've spoken about before. So you may need to cut or leave the note playing in order to get a breath. So let's do that third line all the way through, nice and slowly. again. So you might find it easy to tongue the E when you're coming down. Again, if you're struggling to do the tongued short roll, so tongue the first note, cut, then tap, you can just tap the E like this. So there, I just put a tap on the E. So now with just the tap on the E. So both work absolutely fine. It's up to you, whichever you want to use. I prefer to use the short rolls rather than just the tap, but there are times when just using the tap is what makes the most sense. Again, path of least resistance. So let's have a look at the fourth line now. So this is the last part of the B part. So again, short roll. And we're going to cut the high A. And again, short roll or tap the E. So we've got a repeating pattern, and we're doing the same thing in both bars 1 and 2 on the fourth line. So and then the last 2 bars, cut the F sharp. And you can put a cut on the A on that last bar on the fourth line. So let's play through slowly the whole of the B part now. Let's try it now with the click at 60. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now let us have a look at the final part, the C part. So we're going to start on the first bar of lines 1, 2, 3, 4, line 5. So we're doing lines 5 and 6, so we're starting on the first bar of line 5. So here we go. So I'm cutting and tapping. You can either cut or you can do a short roll. Now on the E, you can either short roll the E, but you will need to tongue it. Or if you want to just play it smoothly without tonguing, you can just tap the E. with just a tap. Or with the short roll on both. So again, both work. It will take a bit of practice to move from the F sharp short roll to the G and then go to the E short roll. It's easier just to tap it. But yeah, both work fine. So now we've got the next bar. Now with the D, I would leave that as it is, and again what you can do is you can do that little tap on the C to get like a little tapping like we did on the E. So let's put those two bars together. And I'm going to short roll both the F sharp and the E in the first bar and the fifth line now. There's not much difference whether you short roll the E or just tap the E. Leave it up to you. Decide which you want to do. Again, you don't have to do anything. You can just cut it. Or so the next two bars. So what I like to do is to put the cut on the middle note. So you're going. And then the last bar. So what I'm going to do is turn that into a long roll. So we've got. But what I'm going to do, we've got the quarter note or crotchet F and the quaver or the eighth note F. I'm going to join them together and we're going to do a short roll. What you've got written. Now you can do this. So you're doing a short roll and then cutting. So you're going cut, tap, cut. Or you can turn it into a long roll. So I'm going to just long roll that. Then we've got on the last line, we've got the C, which is a long C. Now if you want, you can put two taps using that bouncing D. Now you can either separate it with the bouncing D or you can tongue it like this. Or you can separate it with another bounce. Or with the bounce. Or you can just play it plain. So the next bar, put those two together. So we've got bars 1 and 2 on the last line. And then we've got cut on the high F sharp, cut on the A. So let's play the whole of that last C part nice and slowly. Right, set my click to 60. Let's play the whole of the C part at 60. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now we've got parts A, B and C. Let's play them all through together. Again, we're going to play each part twice, set my click to 60. And once we've done that, then we can have a look at some variation which I add. And again, you're always encouraged to add your own kind of variations. As long as you're sticking more or less to the structure of the piece, you're fine. So 60, Banish Misfortune as it is up to now. 1, 2. Okay, now we've got the basic version, let's have a look at how we can add some variation. And I like to do quite a bit in this tune in terms of adding some long rolls. So first of all, I'm just going to start with the first bar, what's written. So what I like to do is start with a short roll and go. So what's written? Short roll to the D. And then the second bar as written. So again. Now what's written, we've got, and what I like to do is to turn that into a long roll. Now again, you can put a little cran on the D. But don't worry about crans. Again, crans are quite tricky. I'm going to do a tutorial video just on crans. So for now, if you just want to play, but yeah, craning is available. And as I said, I'm going to do one shortly on how to do crans. Right, so the next bar, the last bar, we're going to turn the F, E, F, or F sharp, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, G. What's written? We're going to long roll the F and the G. And then in the first bar, what's written on the second line? Long roll the A. Next bar, long roll the A again. So what's written? We're going to go. And then. So what I'm going to do, play what's written the first time, second time around, I'm going to put in the variation. Here we go. So it sounds nice with those rolls. So let's have a go now at playing it at 60. First time round, then second time round with the variation. 1, 2, 2. Right, let's have a look at the B part and see what we can do. So what's written on the first two bars, so that's first two bars on line 3, we've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the short roll to the D into a long roll. I'm going to miss out the G and I miss out the first D in the first bar on the third line, and the G, I'm going to miss that out and go straight to the A like this. So what's written? What I've played as a variation. So same thing with bars 3 and 4. So what's written, we've got the short roll to the C. So again, we can long roll the E. So we've changed the short rolls basically to long rolls and missed out the first note and gone second to this. It's gone straight to the second group of 3. So it's going to be like this. I'll play what's written and then I'll play my variation. Now the variation. And we can continue with the long rolls. With the next line, so it's line 4, we can go. So what's written? What we can do. And then just play out the rest. So let me play the whole of the B part, nice and slowly. So first time as written, second time with the variation. So now with the click. 1, 2. for the last part now with the variations. So again, what we've got, again, not a lot we can do with that. You can put a little cran instead on the E. So the cran on the E is you're going middle, index, middle. Now it does take a lot of practice. And the same thing with the D, with the cran, middle, index, middle. So it's getting the rhythm of the cran correctly. As I said, I'm going to do another video on that, but for now, don't worry about cranning too much. It's a great effect, but it does take a whole heap of practice to get that correct. So again, maybe just play it as it's written. Now what you can do, you can miss out on that top note and just long roll the F sharp, long roll the E, then play the D and the C as written. So So bars 3 and 4, again we can substitute what's written. Long roll. And what's written in the last bar of the fifth line. So we're already doing that long roll there. So again we've got this long C. And we can put those bounces in. It takes a bit of practice to get the bounce really. You don't want to hear the note again like a tap. So on the second bar of the last line, I'm going to long roll. Rather than what's the A, G, A, I'm going to long roll it. I'm going to go. And then. So let's play through with the variation the whole of the last C part. So first time is written, second time with the variation. Now let's put it to the click at 60. So same thing, first time as written, second time with the variation. 2, 1, 2. Okay, so now we've got all those parts, let's play the whole thing through. So as we have done, I'm going to play the first time through as written, and then the second time of the repeat, I'm going to add the variation. So we're going to play each part twice, A is written, B with the variation. Yeah, second part, first time, second time, variation. And then the C part, first time is written, and then the second time with the variations which we've talked about. So let's have a go. Banish Misfortune. So I'm going to do at 60 with the click, all 3 parts repeated. So here we go. 1, 2. So here we have it, Banish Misfortune. As always, try things out yourself. Use your own variation. See what you can come up with. Again, it's all about making your own version of a tune. As long as I said, as you're sticking to the basis of the tune, you can add little variations in ornamentation or even make a few changes in some of the notes. Again, but do, generally stick to the outline of the tune. Okay, so before I go, I just want to thank you for staying with me through this tune breakdown. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. If you have done, then it would be great if you could subscribe to my Whistleblowers YouTube channel. Hit subscribe if you can. If you've got any comments, please leave them in the comments section below. And again, if you've got any friends or anybody at all who you think may find this YouTube channel useful, then please send them over. I'll be more than happy to have as many subscribers as may come my way. So yes, it's all good stuff. So I'm going to finish off by playing my version of Banish Misfortune, and I will see you shortly for another Whistleblowers tune breakdown or tutorial. Again, I did say I was going to do something on crayons, which I will do. So that might be the next one. If not, it will be coming up soon. So anyway, Banish Misfortune.